Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to cilinixfxcapital. I hope you're all doing great. Hope you're having a great weekend. And I think some of you are having a great weekend, especially yesterday if you bought Bonk after the video I made. By the way, I did not say that you should have bought Bonk, because what I said in my video is that I thought it was more likely that we were going to pull back. There were some bearish divergences, and just in general, I did not see that much. I did see a reason as to why Bonk would rally, and that is also what we'll talk about in this video, right? So I'll tell you why Bonk is rallying and what's going on, and there's multiple parts to that, right? It's never an easy story in crypto, because ultimately what's causing this rally here for Bonk is fundamentally driven. However, it's never just fundamentals. There's a lot of projects right now that actually have pretty good fundamentals, but that are not doing that great in terms of the price. So we'll talk about that. But just a bit of a recap. Yesterday, what I said is that, I think it's most likely we're going to get some sort of a pullback, and we're going to fill imbalances here to the downside first. However, to cut myself some slack, I did tell you that, the main level to look at is this level right here around 1800 and 1780, right? So that's without all the decimals. So that's 0.000018. I call that 1800, all right? So what I told you is that, if we're able to hold that, then it's invalidated, right? Because that was the main level, which you can also see here on the higher time frames while I adjust my mouse on the higher time frames, that we needed to break above and that we needed to hold, as you can see right here, right? That was the value area low of the value that we had up here. And we were able to do that. On the 1 hour time frame, you can see we got a lot of strength from there. And then we started to ramp up again in volume over the course of the switch from Saturday into Sunday. And then we started to rally much, much higher. And this is partially because Bonk fundamentally is just doing very, very well. Now, I saw this post earlier today, and I think I retweeted it, but I'm not 100% certain about that. Hopefully I did. No, I did not. No, I didn't. But all right, so the fundamentals right now for the pump fund-like meme coin launchpad for Bonk are amazing. I think they even did more volume or did more in fees than pump fund itself. Right, so fundamentally that's amazing, and that's also one of the key reasons why we're seeing a rally for Bonk instead of other coins. And if you go all the way right here, like Floki also did relatively well, but Bonk, if you go back into this is today, you can see it far outperformed the entire market, and that's for that reason, right? Because fundamentally that means that Bonk itself is also worth more. But now the question is that, all right, the fundamentals are great, the volume is obviously great. I mean, if you go to the volume right here, Bonk at this point of time is in the top 5 in perpetual futures volume. That's major. That's really major. So that's all great to see. But the question then is all right, on the technicals, can we rally up higher? And the answer, I would say, is yes. Right, because what we have done so far with Bonk is we have reclaimed with success, at least so far, right? I mean, you should always be aware of fundamentals and what can change. But at least so far, we have reclaimed back into this range right here. We were in also earlier this year, a month ago, right here between 1800 to the bottom and 2400. And very often what happens when the price gets back into a previous balance is that if we get back into that balance and we don't get a very strong rejection at the POC, which we didn't. I mean, this line is the POC, and I mean, maybe we reacted to that on the 1 hour time frame, but not much. Normally the price traverses all the way to the top here as well, and there's a massive resistance level right here between 2600 and 2400. Do I think we can break above that? No, I think it's far too premature to say that, and even with bullish fundamentals, I don't think that's most likely, but getting to that level, I do think it's most likely. However, look, we have gotten back into the range. It is a possibility that after breaking above the value area low, that we do need to test that, right? So I do have a little bit, if we go to the lowest time frames right here, I do have a little bit of a bias towards expecting a pretty deep pullback first into the value area low to test that 90-day rolling VWAP again and the trend on the 4 hour time frame, and that from there we can rally up to that value area high. So those are my thoughts for now. Now we do not necessarily need to get this deep of a pullback. If we're able to hold the point of control right here at 2000, then it's invalidated. But for now, I do think, especially going into a new week right here in summer, I do think this is the best scenario to take into account. But ultimately, I am still, on the higher time frames, bullish on Bonk. So those are my thoughts. I think that's what you need to know. If you do have any questions, let me know down in the comments. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.